Okay, how about Namdi Kanu? You said Namdi Kanu is a political detainee and that he should be released in the spirit of unity and reconciliation. Even when you know that since the time of President Buhari has been saying this matter is in court. Let the judges, let the courts decide.
Well, you know, I know the Kanu has been there for so long. He's been to several courts on several occasions. They can't even agree on what to do. And between me and you, Dr. Abati, you're a lawyer. Justice delayed is justice denied. This man has been taken to various courts. They don't even know which charges to give him anymore. This man was abducted out of this country. The manner of abduction was in itself illegal. It's a shame. It's a shame that this country will be involved in this.
Hi friends, I hope this video finds you well. Very quickly guys, I want to show you a video where a Yoruba king, has called out the federal government. And he said that as it stands, there is no way Namdi Kanu is going to get justice. No way. He said Namdi Kanu is a political detainee. Please guys, the video you're about to watch is loaded. Also, Dele Farotimi also added his own voice. You understand? Please, these Nigerians are worth hearing. You see, I saw some persons yesterday. We are saying that Namdi Kanu is, ROU the root, this and that and all. What I want to say to you, they say should have become that. This guy has been illegally detained for 4 good years since 2021. So you see one thing to be clapping and licking, the defeat of his oppressors. He shouldn't speak out. If Namdi Kanu have not had the audacity to voice out yesterday, truth that you and I we heard in the video that is flying around, how would you have known, what they are trying to do to him? Are you guys understanding me? Please, as you watch this video, first you will do for me, please, and do for yourself. Please give this video a thumbs up and please share it. The reason you need to share it, by sharing and liking, you are fighting oppression in your own way. Because if you don't fight it now, it's coming close to you. It may go close to somebody you know, if not you. Do you understand? Together we can make this country great again. If people want to live, it's not a crime. Why did somebody you charge him for a felony? What's the name they call it again? I don't remember. The next you are charging for that is terrorism. Oh, come on! For 4 years, somebody's father, separating from his wife, separating from his child for the past 4 years. Please let's watch this video to the end and please share. Thank you.
Okay, how about Namdi Kanu? You said Namdi Kanu is a political detainee and that he should be released in the spirit of unity and reconciliation. Even when you know that since the time of President Buhari has been saying this matter is in court. Let the judges, let the courts decide.
Well, you know, I know the Kanu has been there for so long. He's been to several courts on several occasions. They can't even agree on what to do. And between me and you, Dr. Abati, you're a lawyer. Justice delayed is justice denied. This man has been taken to various courts. They don't even know which charges to give him anymore. This man was abducted out of this country. The manner of abduction was in itself illegal. It's a shame. It's a shame that this country will be involved in a thing like that. But they did it. Okay, now you took that gentleman to court and he's been there for years. If you want to take him through justice, dispense justice with him, and then that's it. If you're going to jail him, jail him. If you're not going to jail him, let him go. What's the point of just keeping somebody there? And all of us Nigerians should be ashamed that we are being linked to this. In the turn, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame that this is what we turned this country to be. A Nigerian, a citizen, and you treat him like this in his own country. It's a shame. All progressive Nigerians should stand up and say this should stop. This shenanigans should stop. How long should we continue with this? If this man has committed any offense, sentence him. That's it. But if he hasn't, let him go. What is happening is wrong. It's wrong. To any right-thinking person, it is wrong. And Afenifere will continue to fight for whoever in such a position. That is what we are known for. We are for We'll fight against any injustice from wherever it is coming from. We'll fight against it. And Namdi Kanu is just there. We've been doing this. We've been doing this for years. We know it's a template. I don't want to start repeating over and over what we do.
Have you also made attempts to approach President Tinubu or to send a formal opinion to him on the question of Namdi Kanu?
No, we didn't go that far. But our position on it is known. We didn't go that far. Okay. We didn't go as much as writing letters. No, we didn't.
Okay, because I just assume that it's not every communique that is published that the president will get a chance to read. Maybe you need that follow-up effort.
If he doesn't read anything about Namdi Kanu, then he must find something good to read.
Anyway,
if he didn't read it and his people around him won't talk to him about it, I don't know what job they are doing.
If there isn't, I should say, if there aren't validities to the demands of Namdi Kanu or his grievances, there will be no currency to his words. But he speaks clearly, speaking the mind and the grievances and the pains of the people. To ignore what he is saying will be stupid. He is the one who has embraced the use of the language that the Nigerian state understands. But he is not the only person who is aggrieved in Ala Igbo. Killing Namdi Kanu today, there are 1,000 waiting to take his place. Because the reality is that he is not speaking to his personal pain. He is speaking to the pains of a people. When you actually desire peace in Nigeria, we need to take some hard decisions. One of them is the need to free Namdi Kanu. Now, there are multiple allegations against the gentleman, but he's not the only person against whom there have been multiple allegations. What we have in Nigeria today is a country that is functionally a cauldron, burning from almost every corner. And everything that could be done to bring about peace in Nigeria should be embraced. There have been multiple cases of terrorists who have been reintegrated back into our society, a phenomenon that is unique to Nigeria, the radicalization of violent terrorists. Fulani marauders of all sorts have found mercy at the hand of the Nigerian state. The Southeast has been burning for some time, and it is not unknown that one of the factors responsible for this is the current incarceration of Mazi Namdi Kanu. That Afenifere has asked that he should be freed is in the spirit of a search for peace in Nigeria. If he is not to be freed, then he should be speedily tried. This has been the consistent call of Afenifere for years. If they cannot find a way to try him, if we can all admit to ourselves that we essentially have a political problem that has morphed into a terrorism problem, then why should it be so difficult to understand Afenifere's plea that the man should be freed and the path of peaceful reconciliation pursued? If we can make peace with armed terrorists, if we can free Boko Haram killers, why is it so difficult to embrace peace as an option in the Southeast? That is the contention of Afenifere. We are not looking into the merit or otherwise of the charges. We're saying this has dragged for this long, nothing of substance has been achieved, peace has not been restored, and there is a veritable path to peace if you free him and engage with the dissidents in the Southeast. That has been the position of Afenifere and every well-meaning Nigerian, actually.
Ekpa, for the same IPOB. What's your comment on that?
The IPOB itself has said multiple times that Simon Ekpa is not one of theirs. The Nigerian security forces knows who is who. If persons have committed crimes, they should surely be taken before the courts. Ekpa's case may not be conflated with Namdi Kanu's case. Namdi Kanu has been with the state for some years now. Muhammadu Buhari kept him in a cage for Tinubu to inherit. Tinubu has inherited him. Is he going to keep him in that cage? And then for how long would he be kept there? At what point would we begin the search for peace in the Southeast? So when I'm speaking about Mazi Namdi Kanu, be careful to understand that I'm not conflating his case with that of Ekpa. There are two different cases. I am not an Easterner, but I am a Nigerian, and what ails one ails the other, and there really cannot be peace in Nigeria until we confront all these issues that have their roots in age-old grievances and injustices. If and when we've dealt with this, then we can start the journey to some rectitude. But Simon Ekpa, Mazi Namdi Kanu, I really don't know if the two can be treated exactly the same. And I wouldn't treat them the same.
I respect that. What about Omoyele Sowore, who was recently, arrested and detained, and he refused to be bailed? What's your comment on that? These are all legal issues.
You see, the problem with the Nigerian police, or shall I say the Nigerian state, and my brother Yele, is that Yele does not know how to pretend that he is anything but a citizen. The Nigerian state, on the other hand, can tolerate anyone except the person who presumes to be a citizen. So the constant battle between Yele and the Nigerian police is merely symptomatic of the relationship between the Nigerian police and the Nigerian public. Yele is your average Nigerian. Your average Nigerian in the sense that he's not asking for anything that the everyday Nigerian should not be demanding. The only thing is that while the everyday Nigerian might be prepared to cower before authority or pretend that everything is fine, Yele does not know how to pretend that everything is fine. So every time Yele moves is a walking violation of the Nigerian system. So the Nigerian state must constantly go after Yele because Yele is constantly demanding an account of the Nigerian state. That is what you see happening all of the time. That the Nigerian state cannot find tolerance for Yele is merely evidence of the fact that the Nigerian state cannot find tolerance for anyone demanding to be treated with some dignity, with some respect, or as a citizen. Shame on the Nigerian state. It's got nothing to do with Yele as a person. It is the Nigerian state that is lacking in the capacity to tolerate its citizens. All he has done is to point at the evils of the state, that the state has never found the grace to change, but has always pursued him instead of changing, tells you just how far we have traveled on the path to madness. Yele is done nothing wrong. Yele is just Yele, a Nigerian who refuses to behave like a slave.
Afenifere has been known to not be directly in support of Yele's, antecedents. What do you have to say about that?
I beg to disagree with that. I beg to disagree with that. Afenifere has always been a progressive organization, and I dare say that there has been, I cannot even recall a single thing that Yele has been for or has ever supported that Afenifere has been against. We are not a reactionary organization. We are essentially a center-left political conglomerate. So how could we possibly have had anything against anybody professing revolutionary ideals? Yele is somebody we consider a natural ally. We might have our disagreements in relation to methodologies from time to time, but other than that, we have zero disagreements with Yele and we consider him a friend.
The president has agreed has said that the IG should be allowed to exceed his 60 years of age and continue as IG, which is a political appointment, as it were. And The law says 60 years or 35 years in service, then you must go on retirement. Do you have any comment on that?
Nigeria as a legal entity is full of lies and contradictions. And laws really matter in the country that we have built. If laws matter, the reality is that Yele is completely correct. The Inspector General of Police is illegal. He has exceeded his term in office. But what the presidency is telling you is that the law does not matter. The president has decreed, and it has been as decreed. Because if it is not decreed, then it would be in accordance with the law. And what the law says is that Kayode Egbetokun should retire and should have retired. So that the president has decreed is another ballgame entirely. That the decree of the president supersedes the constitution or the law in Nigeria is just another one of the many sickening realities of our existence. But that is just what it is.
Presidency did not use decree. I think you are the one using decree, so that's why I'm asking you. What?
It is the effect of what he has said that I am talking about.
Okay.
If the president's word is superior to the clear wordings of the law, the existential reality is that he has decreed something outside of the law, and it is because he is the imperator. It does not change the fact that what he has said supersedes the law. So when the pronouncement of the president supersedes the law, the only thing you can say is that the president has issued a decree. That is the effective nature of his pronouncement. Because the Police Service Commission has not denied the fact that the man should have retired. So if they have not denied the fact that he should have retired, but are saying that he is still in office because he has been granted an extension by the president, what they are telling you is that the president's pronouncement is of more importance than anything that might have been written down in any law in the country. So I might be using the word decree. You may want to use the word policy or use the word law, but the reality is that a pronouncement has been given that purports to be superior to the law.
But that's within the purview of the powers of the presidency, isn't it? If the president makes a pronouncement that I would like Egbetokun to continue as the Inspector General of Police, what would you say?
Does not grant any power that it also does not limit. When the law gives you a power, it sets the parameter for the usage of that power. The reality is that the Nigerian president is essentially a dictator unlimited by law, because whenever he decrees something, the institutions that should have acted as guardrails for the protection of democracy and the rights of the citizens simply kowtow and do as the president says, instead of checking that what he says conforms with the letters and spirit of the law. No, they just, when he says jump, it's about how high. Never about should I have jumped or not. It's about how high should I jump. So the words of the law are clear. They are not ambiguous. But the word of the president are also clear, and they are not ambiguous. And while the words of the president are in clear contradiction of the words of the law, like every other thing Nigerian, because the president has said so, it will be so. So it's a decree.
I would like you to look, critically at the relation. Last response, you said a few things that touched my heart, in the sense that correctional centers, you saw firsthand how, from what you saw and where you saw it, how it is managed. What's your advice? And then the relationship with the police. What is also your advice regarding your fundamental human rights?
let me just say that I have my lawyer's advice to be circumspect about what I'll say as regards the specificity of my relationship with the Nigerian police this last experience. So I'll leave that for now. But let me just put it this way. How a society treats its weakest gives you an indication of how far that society has traveled on the path to civilization. We do not have a correctional service. We have a punishment bureau. The men and women who work within the Nigerian prison system do a human's task. They are supermen. I am aware some of them spend their monies on prisoners' welfare. But you have a situation where the federal government owns the prison, but the state government dumps prisoners on the correctional officers on a daily basis without any thought or care for how these prisoners will be fed at the most basic level. Any prisoner that has to be dependent on Nigerian prisons for his food will die within 3 to 6 months, guaranteed. Because what they are fed in prison is not food. It is not food. There is nothing about the Nigerian prison service that corrects. It punishes. It dehumanizes. That is what it does. We don't have a correctional service. And it is not the fault of the staff. It is the system itself that is completely wrong.
Okay.
Unfit for purpose.
Your book,